Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Deconversion Stories. Today I'm talking with my good friend here, Mr. Gray Oyami, who's decided to join us today. Now he's undercover, so obviously Gray Oyami isn't his real name, but
what?
He's wanted by many, like the KGB, and no, I'm just kidding. But no, he's in disguise and whatnot. But
NBC,
CBS,
they're all after him. Please give me an interview.
But yeah, great. Thanks for joining me today, man.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure, Mr. Neil, Mr. Michael. Always a pleasure.
All right. Well, you know what I do here. I chat with people about their deconversion stories, basically how they found their way out of whatever belief systems they were once a part of, and I basically ask people to sort of take us on that journey from the days of being involved to the way you finally found your way clear of these types of beliefs, and how that affected you and your life and stuff like that. So
yes,
take it away.
I'll try to stay on topic.
We already have our first hashtag coins right there.
No, third.
Tonight Gray will be drinking filtered pale ale.
It's Dos Equis.
Dos Equis, nice.
Cervezas with the homies.
Yeah, man. Cervezas are pretty much the only beer I drink now.
With the mask on, of course. So
now this looks like you're smiling.
Yes. So yeah, pretty much before I get started, yeah, I'll try and stay on topic and such. I'll explain the get up here. I'm wearing this hat because of the fishing verses in the Bible. I absolutely love that Jesus picked up fishermen to be his disciples. And every time I just think of like when I got this hat, it was really funny. So yeah, when I was young, I grew up in the early 90s. Okay, that's when I was born. The very first memories that I had actually were in the church. I grew up in a very cultish like group. It was called it's very hard for me to remember because I was very young, but the name that I remember was the Second Apostolic Prophets of the Coming Christ. And it could have been mixed up or put in different ways, or the Second Prophets or something, but they were a rather funny group. It was just 90s people kind of figuring out what the Bible meant. The Bible meant many things to many people, and to them it meant that God was still making prophets. God was still speaking to people. And it meant that the coming of Christ was literally within our lifetimes, as foretold in the book of Daniel and the book of Revelations. I wouldn't say what? That.
I thought Jesus said he was going to return during the time of his disciples before they
You're talking about one of the verses that they completely ignored, that they didn't think about.
Convenience.
It's very I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah, it's true. Like, people have their own ideology about how the resurrection or the day of resurrection is gonna happen, you know.
Yep.
To them it was like every day. It could be any day now. And I remember one of my earliest memories was like my pastor was like, he had a chalkboard in front of the congregation, and he would chalk down these drawings. He's not the best drawer, but he would chalk down like all these visions of the Bible, like stories and then visions he had.
He'd actually write them out, like chalk drawings?
Yeah, he would draw them like legit, just like he would draw like a huge line of sinners going into the lake of fire as the book of you know, the book of life and the book of death. Like, if you weren't in the book of life, you would be cast down into the lake. And
my man said, you know what my sermon needs? Illustrations. Get that chalkboard.
Exactly.
Get that chalkboard, Margaret. I got an idea.
And there was no children's service, so all the children were in the main. They were in the main area. They were in the main theater, and it was actually funny because, like, me being exposed to all this, like the coming days and history of the Bible and all that stuff. I knew that stuff when I was little because I didn't have rosary stories about the Bible. I didn't have this beautiful look on like Noah's Ark and David. No, I was told when I was a kid that when David defeated Goliath, he beheaded him and he had his head on a stake.
With a rock.
I don't remember hearing that in Hebrew school.
Yeah. And it was I mean
Fatality.
most of the mental damage didn't actually come from like being there. I mean, the being there wasn't that bad in church, but it was actually outside when I was living my life. I felt like I was brainwashed, dude. I felt like I was severely brainwashed, and it affected my relationships. It affected how I acted. And you know how people say that they're Christians, and they say this and that, but I was actually like judged. Like judgment was every day, and I was like, I had the fear of the Lord everywhere I went.
Oh wow.
The paranoia.
Yes, the paranoia, the anxiety of being a child that didn't quite understand how the world worked. So I would watch what I was doing. I was always a chicken, scaredy cat with my friends. Like, oh, we can't do that. The Lord's watching, like kind of like that business. So
Now, if I would have thought that way as a teenager, that would have cut into a lot of fun I had as a kid.
Exactly. It's why I feel like I was robbed of my childhood. And luckily, though, I had good friends to change that. And not like bad influence kid. No, it's just like, don't think like that, And even my friends claim that they're Christian, they don't live that life. They live it every day except Sunday. They live Christianity on Sunday, and then the rest of the week is just goof around and be bad, And I think that plagues modern evangelicalism, is just how people aren't taking Christianity absolutely seriously, or like take their faith seriously. And I feel like you don't have to take it so seriously. And you'll start to understand that there's different cultures, there's different people. And if you actually read the history of the Bible, if you actually read how it was put together, you would start to question things really quickly. So, I mean, of course, I know how everyone feels about Christianity, so I won't go into that. But to my story, it got worse and worse and worse, and the church is getting wilder and wilder because more people were showing up. And what they would do, and the children in the auditorium, was they would, the pastor would talk about like hysteria that was happening at the time. So like Pokemon was a huge thing.
Yeah,
It's why
I remember that.
It's
Yu-Gi-Oh!
why I
Too.
still never. Yeah, well,
And
luckily
Magic.
they didn't.
All of them.
Luckily they didn't know about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, and I still played those.
I
But
missed one.
oh, they missed quite a few, but they were all the rage about Pokemon and Harry Potter. So the thing about Pokemon was the pastor would literally have all the parents there, all the children there, and they'd be like, so do you know about this new pocket monster from Japan?
They actually knew what it meant, eh?
It's putting demons in your children's minds.
Yeah.
and it was so bad that I had a little stash. I was just getting into it as a kid, and my dad had me throw them away. Just same like with every other kid,
Did you have any good ones, like that were worth something? Or?
I bet you I had like cards that are worth thousands today.
Probably
like
it
was just
or something.
It was like 1999, and
those original packs go. It doesn't even matter if it's a Bell Sprout. if it's from back then, it's worth more than what you paid for it, for sure.
You go put yourself through college with that shit.
Right.
And my grandma raised me, so it was the same thing. Like I had a thing of Neopets, like little trading cards when it was like popular,
remember
and she had
those.
me throw them away. I asked my father about not being able to watch Harry Potter because everyone watched it, dude. And
Mhm.
when we were at the theaters, I'm like, Dad, let's watch Harry Potter. And he's like, no, son, it's blasphemy. It's witchcraft. It'll send you to damnation, son. And I was like,
A movie? Really?
you're right, Dad. Yeah, the movie. And I also remember in third grade class, they were watching it for it was movie day, and the
Halloween
teacher
movie
put it
day.
on. And I remember going up in front of the entire class and telling her, I can't watch this movie. Can I step out in the hallway?
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh
And
no.
while the
Oh.
entire movie was playing, I was sitting quietly next, just hearing the movie and everyone laughing and having fun. And I'm like, my faith is more important.
See,
I
this
don't-
is why I've always said religion's kind of like this is what it does to people. Like, holy fuck, people. It's just
It's-
a movie.
I
Yeah.
hear them in there. They're summoning a demon called Gryffindor. He's on his way right now.
And they know nothing about it. Or perhaps the pastor watched it in its entirety and he's like, all right, I think my congregation doesn't need to watch this. You know, I need to watch it for everything.
Let me see what kind of sin is in here.
Exactly. You're gonna smoke the whole pack.
Right.
So the church got worse and worse, and the hysteria was building up, and the whole thing like crashed after like 9/11. Like once 9/11 happened, it's like everyone became peace loving, all that crazy apostolic talk. And around a few years after, and the church was kind of dwindling in crowd, and it was getting weird, and he's just preaching the same thing. So you need a new change of pace. So my parents divorced.
Wait, what? Because of the preacher? Did I miss something?
No, it was like no. It was I'm saying like I'm talking about the church, and then
Yeah.
when everything was getting weird and the church was dwindling, my parents divorced. And
Okay.
my mom went the secular route, and my dad went from being an apostolic Christian to being an evangelical. So
great.
I joined him on his journey. I'll cheers to that.
Wait, I didn't
I
even
need a
hear
drink. I just needed a drink. It's
I'll
hard to
join ya.
talk about stuff. But yeah, it was he carried on his journey as being an evangelical. And I joined him. And the churches we went to were very weird. I mean, we jumped from church to church, kind of figuring out what's good, figuring out what church works for us. And we eventually settled upon a mega church of evangelicals, because it's more preaching about tolerance and stuff, and kind of getting used to, more broader perspective of Christianity than the absolutely crazy nonsense that was the apostolic church. And that kind of helped me for a little bit. It did help me when I was in middle school and in high school, kind of make friends more, but it was still bad for my health. It was still bad mentally, because I was struggling with my identity as a youth and figuring out where my place is. And my dad couldn't quite connect with me. It was the church or nothing. So,
Wow. He didn't
yeah.
actually give you that ultimatum, did he?
No. Now, I don't want to spoil the ending. It's actually really great.
Fair enough. No spoilers.
I hate spoilers.
My dad took care of me and my brother, and my mom took care of the sisters. So I never really got to see my mom much. But luckily, though, my dad was goddamn superhero. He was a great, great dad. And he did his best with what he knew about the church and how to raise a good Christian man. But the problem with the churches that we were going to is everyone had a different message.
Mhm.
So luckily, my dad kind of caught on a little bit, and he was figuring out how to develop his own thing about Christianity. You know, like he took parts of the Bible that interest him, and he was applying it to, okay, God God exists in a different way than these people are thinking. Like he could exist in a scientific world. You know, he actually believes he doesn't believe in young earth creationism. He thinks that there were actually many people during Adam and Eve's time. God focused on these two people instead of like just Adam and Eve, and it was just incest garden, you know.
Yeah.
And it's actually
Literally.
funny yeah, I think that that's a more healthy look at Christianity, that the Bible's actually a tool to help you kind of follow a good and healthy life, maybe with God in it, you know. But at least to him, yeah, right. I'm just saying, like, there's better versions of Christianity out there, and I think my dad's following a better path. But my mom, on the other hand, actually, she became from partying and drinking and all that, she became a very religious person. And then yep.
Mario coin. I just want to welcome Madam Who into the chat. I just
Delicious.
saw your email. I haven't been into my Neil 648 email in about a week, so I just saw your email because it's been busy for me here. So I will reply to you, and we will set up, because I saw the line in it saying that you wanted to come on the show. So we will set it up. You're on Twitter too, I think. So I'll send you a message through Twitter. Anyway, carry on, sir.
Shout out to Twitter. I don't use that garbage. It's arguing simulator, so no, I'll have one eventually.
Oh, it's not simulated. It's real argument.
Yeah. I want to be a creator. This is actually my first appearance as a creator, so yay.
Wait, what? Really?
I haven't put out a YouTube video. No, this is my first appearance as a creator, as me, Oyami. Yes. And
cool.
And I'm eventually gonna create.
I popped your cherry.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
It's
you think
great,
Twitter's
it's great.
bad? Welcome to YouTube.
This should be the first form of medium, having a discussion before, getting to know someone better before actually making content. Not to
Do you have a channel like set up and ready, or are you going to set one up?
Yeah, just about. Like I'm in the process of making a 2-hour documentary called Apostasy.
Okay.
It's a very crazy look into my early life. Like here, this is the document for it. It's 100 pages long. It goes forever. But Apostasy talks about my childhood as a young evangelical Christian. I read the entire Bible, but but I read the entire Bible in its entirety. I discuss all the chapters, what contradictions are in it, all that stuff. Then I talk about how it affects our politics, our culture. If somebody's looking to, if they're a Christian, how to adopt a more spiritual lifestyle to kind of wean them off of it. But yeah, I've done about 9 months of research now. I've included all my sources.
Holy cow.
I have a few creators that were at the Faithless Forum that are going to help me on this project as well. They offer to, chip in,
That's cool.
Look at my research, and probably be featured in it. So,
right on.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, if you have a link you can give me, I can actually put it into the description box. So, because it sounds what you're going to be doing is pretty interesting, and I'm sure a lot of the folks in the chat that are with us now, and there's over 26 people watching it at the moment, so they might want to sub.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be a game changer. I mean, this piece of art, this work that I'm doing, is going to be a long form piece of content, and it's going to be, featuring many of the community on it, as well as like all the research that I've done. It's going to have everything that you would ever want in a faithless piece of content for atheist agnostics, all condensed into one piece of a 2-hour special. And it's going to be featuring you. I'm going to be, sharing it's going to be sharing this live stream. Well, only a snippet of it, just
Yeah, whatever. It's all good.
And
yeah, my permission is fine.
Great.
There you go, YouTube. If you're watching and you find this, he has my permission. It's okay.
It's going to be advertised by, the Cameo Jesus, the guy that's like, hey, it's Jesus. It's going to be advertised by that guy. It's going to be feature like a lot of snippets from just about every form of media you can think of that had like religious content in it. So it's going to be funny. It's going to be very informative. I had to condense everything all into 2 hours. So, and also to Holy Kool-Aid and Guts at Given, I'm not ignoring you guys. I know I haven't sent an email, but that's because I'm still researching and making sure everything's 100%. Like, that's why it's taking so long for me to start, sending out business emails and getting all this condensed and making sure it's accurate.
Well, I know Holy Kool-Aid personally. We're actually very good friends.
Yeah, that's great.
I can probably help you get. You've spoken to him? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I've spoken to them. They were actually very helpful in like kind of developing my ideas for the project, and I've actually gifted them gifts. I've gifted them Bibles, both of them, and they're I highlighted all the fucked up shit in it. And then I gave them a couple of gifts. So yeah, they enjoyed it. But yeah, I have to email them, make sure that once they look and research over it, they'll be like, oh, okay, this is something I'd like to be, included in. So
okay, fair enough. As for Guts at Gibbon, tune in on Saturday. She'll be on the show.
Yes, her specials and her channel's excellent. I couldn't.
Amazing.
I am not a scientist. I'm a theologian. I'm a theologist, and when I study that, I don't study anthropology, or I don't study like whatever her field of study is. It's clear that she knows it, and it goes over my head when I talk about it. So back to the story. Sorry to
It's all right.
sorry,
And that was a word from our sponsors.
pat my own back on my own piece of content that I'm working on. But yeah, let's back to the story. My mom. Oh, that's not the coin. That's not the drink. I'm just gonna take a drink to that.
Throw it up there.
Okay, so yeah, my mom went from being a secular person to being what's an evangelical now, and that took a long process of her. I'll take a drink.
It's Nick, by the way. It's all Nick. He's sending me messages on Twitter.
He's like, get that drink in. The process was slow, but once she started having grandkids and stuff, I think she kind of wised up and was taking it more seriously. I, on the other hand, went from not taking it seriously to taking it seriously when I was around a teenager. I was like 13 or 14, and it ruined everything, really. Like, I lost tons of friends because no one wants to go with the religious kook. No one wants to be friends with somebody that's weird. And plus, I was like an attention seeker. I mean, kind of growing up without a parent made me into like this crazy class clown, a religious class clown.
Oh, all right. All right.
It's Ollie. It's Ollie.
I'm trying to look for ways to get drunk, man. But the
Why does everybody say that when they're on my show?
I can't hear you. I'm high and drunk.
the ultimate end result, though, was me becoming an attention-seeking mess. That I get this. There was this when I was in high school. I was dating this girl, and she was like probably like the school slut. Like, it was bad, and I thought like I can convert her or something, you know.
I will save her.
And she wanted to sleep with me, but I said no or something. I said something about my faith. She ended up sleeping with my best friend.
Oh,
Like, and I found out the next day on MySpace, and people were talking about it.
MySpace.
Yeah, it was. I'm old, but I found out, and I went to both of them, and I was angry and upset. But I ended up giving them a monologue about how they should find Christ and be saved. I said, I
That'll
forgive
learn
you.
'em.
That's what Jesus would do. It was bad.
they're just like, and they're probably just sitting there was like, oh, that's why you broke up with him. All right.
How do you know Jesus
Yeah.
wouldn't have tag teamed her with your buddy?
It's like, are you daft? Are you ill or something, dude?
At first, I felt bad about this. After that dude just lectured me about Jesus, okay, I'm all right with my decisions.
It was so bad, dude. It was terrible. I was and I think the one thing that stuck to me about Christianity was like that optimism and that attitude. I may look and talk like what my special is gonna look dark and grim because that's the kind of work that I do. But I am a very optimistic person, actually, and it helps me. At least I can say absolutely absurd things with a straight face, and it's helped me with my acting too, because I took acting when I was in high school and in college.
Cool.
And I can say absolutely stupid things and not even be fazed by it. So it's why
How I get through life.
it's why I believe the church made me slightly autistic. It was bad because like I didn't quite get situations. Like, I understood the church's situation. When I was there, I know how to act, I know how to be, and you know how churchgoers are like slightly awkward, and everything is simply just about the discussion and life of Christ. So
I wouldn't go out and say that would make you autistic. Maybe it make you a little socially awkward, but that was me too. Because if you're like it's almost like how like a lot of my friends were homeschooled, and then like I was like the weirdo religious kid. So we were all kind of we didn't really pick up on everything perfectly. So
yeah, mine was full blown for sure. Cause like I literally I couldn't understand how to make friends in elementary school. And I felt like I wasn't there. And my other friends were. My other friends could be like, here, this is how you do things, you know, like don't say it like that, bro. Just, you know, and they were the ones teaching me. They were already making friends and everything was working fine for them. But for me, I'm so glad they stuck with me, because now I can have great conversations with people without like saying absolutely weird, out of nowhere, kind of absurd things. And it never occurred to me until, you know, I started growing up and eventually reaching in high school. High school was when I actually started to get into my religious studies a little bit more. Now to the turning point, you know, hearing all these crazy stories about my early church going and then how it affected me outside in the real world. I asked my parents if I can go to military school, And military school was a huge turning point for me because it actually taught me so many things about what I do today. It taught me to be more disciplined. It taught me how to, to be time management and stuff like that. It taught me how to be a better man. But ultimately, it gave me a lot of free time. When I approached my parents about going to, there we go.
More.
Yes, good. When I finally made the ultimate choice to go to military school, my parents were a little held back about it. They were skeptical.
Oh,
Ironically, they're skeptical about military school, but not Christianity. They were worried that I was gonna be coming out like I was out of prison, but I came out agnostic because with all that free time, I had a copy of the Bible. I believe it was a New King James version, and I read the thing from front to back because I had so much time. I didn't have phones. I didn't have devices to fool around with. I didn't have TV. They just said it's either you study, read, or do something constructive, and that's what I did. I read it from front to back.
Yep.
I could not believe
it leaves a lot of people out.
I think reading the Bible makes you an atheist.
Yep.
I believe that because everything I read in there was absolutely batshit crazy. I could
your
not
Bible,
believe exactly. You don't hear this stuff in Bible study. You think you know the Bible when your preachers tell you all the books and what they, like, oh, let's read Bible study. They're only picking out certain chapters for you to enjoy.
So, Gray, before you continue, there's it's been asked twice now, actually. They want to know where you get the mask you can drink through.
Oh, so Amazon. It's not actually just a common mask. It goes down your neck. And it's
one of them tube ones, right?
It's
I
spandex,
have one of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I have 5 of them.
Spandex used to make my butt look good on stage.
Right?
Not so much anymore.
Everything's off Amazon except this. This is H&M. I rep H&M because it's affordable and it looks good.
That came via Amazon. It's the only place I could find it. Except for the Lego store, but they wanted more money at the Lego store.
So, they pick and choose out of the Bible. Like, it's going to probably be from Proverbs. It's probably going to be from great books such as, like, Samuel, when King David reigned, or, like, all the Gospels. Yes, let's take a drink to that. To King David.
Drink to King David. There you go.
Skål.
So after the atrocities of reading that book, I made a choice, and it was difficult. I didn't know how to live life outside of Christianity, so I found groups outside. Well, first I talked to my cadets that I was in military school with, and I said, hey, I don't think I'm a Christian anymore, because I was going to church with them. They had church services, and they're like, bro, what's wrong? I actually ended up getting 2 other people to read the Bible with me. They were like, yeah, that's bullshit.
All right, you pulled 2 more out. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was because I was in close proximity with them, and I had the resource, and I was a fellow Christian too, so I was like trying to discuss with them like all this thing, and it helped me become a bit of a theologian for the first time, and it helped me kind of put into perspective of critical thinking, because at the time I wasn't a very good critical thinker. But because of that, because I started reading, that's when I got obsessed with books. And when I got out, I was just obsessed with reading. Yes, GG. I was obsessed with like getting more knowledge about this. And actually for the last few months, I've been rereading the Bible again in the New King James Version, because King James is just absolutely terrifying to read. I reread it again for the third time the last few months, and I'm written down all my notes, and it's going to be in that new special that I'm making. I've found things that I never thought I would ever find. I mean, these are like gold mine things that even shocked me, things I didn't pick up on, or, I'm a very bad reader. So I had it done through audiobook. I read it, or I had it being read to me through audiobook. And in my Bible, I was highlighting and writing down in my notes. So I too have a Bible with lots of highlighter marks in it. I went back home afterwards and started my journey. That's when I started having internet access again. I started my journey, and I got really weird into Buddhism and the New Age. Like, I actually believe, this is funny, and it embarrasses me to admit, but I was actually like one of those crystal clutchers.
I almost asked you about crystals. I was just about to, I was waiting for the break. So I'm like, did you do like crystal healing stuff?
And I actually believe some
Just
of it
place
was
it on your
true.
forehead like this, and it opens up your third eye.
Your third eye chakra. Here's what's funny about that, because I believe some of the stuff to this day, because they were on their YouTube channels, they would teach like lucid dreaming and astral projection.
Is this like
I've had
that spirit fucking channel or whatever the hell it is?
Yeah. Well, one of the
lucid-
big ones that I watched was Spirit Science.
Spirit
lucid-
side, that's the guy.
Is lucid dreaming not a thing?
Oh,
Yes,
it's a thing, man.
it's a thing.
Okay.
It is a thing. It is a thing.
I was like, oh, dude, that's crystal stuff? Oh, man. Oh, y'all
Yeah.
are kidding me.
No,
It's
lucid
why-
dreaming is something you can learn to do.
It's why I chose to be agnostic, because I've actually had like large visions and lucid dreams and astral projections. I know I sound crazy, but I'm not going to literally tell you about
I
it
was
every
there
day.
too, man. I was there too.
Honestly, I'm not even going to bother unless we're talking about like spirituality and stuff. But I've had things like that, out of body experiences where I've saw my own body.
I thought
And-
so too, until I realized it was
Yeah.
all in my fucking head.
Yeah, people mean it when they see it. So, luckily I can connect with religious people a little bit better than some like academic atheists. I can have this discussion, and I think people, when they're having discussions about religion, should see the other person's side, because I grew up in an actual cult, like a legit, like scare your way back into church kind of cult. And they did everything in the book. They did spiritual healings, they did biblical literalism, they did just the worst kind of stuff in their church. And luckily the evangelical church wasn't as bad, but it ruins our politics and it ruins our culture in a nutshell. So when I got back home, I was literally trying to find my spiritual journey, and I clung to everything, and I was just trying to find my identity spiritually and these things. But luckily, as a grown adult, I think that spirituality is just like a trip to the shrine in Japan, like clap your hands, throw in a coin, and don't think about it all year until
Yeah,
it never
man.
happens again.
Spirituality is, honestly, let's face it, spirituality can be whatever the fuck you want it to be.
Exactly. It could
Right.
be anything your brain. I make this
I
joke
find
a
it
lot.
spiritual to build fucking Lego sets. So
Yeah.
there you go.
I believe there's a beautiful goddess in the sky, and she helps me on my journey to becoming like a better angel. Or like, I just tell this joke to people just so that they're like, you don't believe in Christianity? Or like, I just, I'm kind of weird like that.
Have you guys not heard of our Lord and Savior, the Flying Spaghetti Monster?
Right. I got my colander in the back, bro. Once I finally once all that spirituality went away. Okay, yep, let's take a drink.
It's going fucking ape shit tonight.
Will y'all relax? Leave Neil alone. He's busy.
No, I think it's oh no, it's Godless Mom.
So once I found my spiritual, once I let it all go, and I became like Alan Watts, he's like a spiritual entertainer, he knew that every sort of religion has a piece of it that you can turn into philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I became. I became this person who didn't have mental illness and brainwashing anymore. I just saw things as is,
Hold
it
on.
exists.
We can't. My friend Godless Scummer actually made a video about this just recently for TikTok. We can't refer to religious belief as a mental illness because it just isn't. It's not. It's something you're just brought up in, right? When you find your way out, I understand having the view.
Yeah.
That it felt that way, like a brainwashing type mental illness, but it really isn't.
For me, the reason why I call it that is because I actually believe demons were in people and in things.
Well, that's a delusional idea, but not necessarily a mental illness.
You're 100% right. Yeah. The delusions that I had were baffling to some people. Mm-hmm. And luckily, once I transitioned from being finally the ultimate transition of being a religious person to secular, things started to make sense. And I felt like I was free, like a weight has been lifted, and I wasn't in fear of hell, which isn't accurately described in the Bible. I was free from spirits being around me, controlling like a bureaucracy, and I was free of knowing the future because apparently the Bible drew out the future already. It's weird.
Sure it did.
It's weird how everything is laid out and everyone knows from beginning to end, but that's not how nature works. Nature works by repeating. Nature works by going forever. Yeah.
That somebody just launched a YouTube video. That's why that one came up.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, that's what you do with spirits. I like Ian's drink spirits. Get drunk from said spirits.
So here's the worst thing.
Yeah.
Here's the worst thing, though. After all this, and one more time.
Jeez. So the notification coming up that so-and-so is going to go live in 10 minutes or whatever.
I'm hitting all the bingos, bro. So yeah, now I am still in the closet. My parents do not know.
Oh, really?
And
I think you told me that before too.
Yes, the reason why I made this programming, this documentary, this special, is because I wanted to show that to my parents. It's 2 hours of everything I found.
What do you think they're going to say?
My dad, I actually think my dad is, I think he's not religious anymore.
Really?
And I mean, we have bourbon drinks. We watch Dave Chappelle, all the stuff that we never did when we were growing up. My dad's cool now, and he doesn't go to church because
he's out of the evangelical stuff now.
His excuse is he doesn't like the churches here, but I think it's because he's been back in college. He's been back in college for his degree. Yeah.
That'll help.
And he's making more friends that aren't, religious. And he's making friends that are a lot smarter than him. So as for my mother, it was a 360. She works at church. She's working in a church. And I go every Sunday. Still do.
So your mom, who's the one you were saying was secular, she works in a church, just to be like a good citizen, help out kind of thing. Or
No,
does she actually?
she's fully religious
No,
now.
she went religious after
Whoa!
having alcohol
What?
issues.
I've never. You see, I hear these stories of people
Polarity
who were
switch.
Yeah, that's bizarre. I hear these stories of people who were once non-believers to become religious, and to me, I always think, fuck, like in the Wizard of Oz. Once you see behind the curtain, how the fuck do you go back? Like it just.
Well, she's not an intellectual type. She partied and drank until she wanted to find God. That's it.
Oh,
It wasn't a look behind the curtain. It was just, I think it was just playing on ignorance.
I didn't give Wayne a spanner. Now they got me saying it. It's a fucking ring.
Luckily for me, though, I mean, I enjoy it because, like, I know the Bible more than most preachers do because I actually take the secular look at it. I read into like the history and how each book is made and how it was put together.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's funny how like I'm not that I'm still in the closet about it, and it's not why I put on this mask because I hide I'm hiding my identity because my channel's going to be about some. It's going to be very difficult subject matter, and the first and only video about religion is going to be the first one, called Apostasy. The second one's about politics. So you can imagine why I want to keep my identity a secret.
The two things they tell you never to talk about at the dinner table: religion and
Exactly.
politics. Right?
I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to talk about it in ways that people never thought it could be talked about. There's channels that are made for religion, and there's channels made about politics, but the thing is, they make it for content. They make individual videos about certain subjects, and I don't think people have the time to. Sometimes they don't have the time to consume all that, especially me. I never have the time to consume stuff. So if I'm going to make a channel, it's going to be this one massive project that everyone can look towards to and point out. And it's all condensed. It's like drinking liquor instead of
bring
beer,
it. That thing you showed us, you were scrolling. Are you going to break that into segments and release shorter
Yes.
videos? Okay, good.
Well, no, not shorter video. No, it's going to be broken up into segments like a book. So what you're listening to is like an audio book, but it's going to be art too. Like but the sections are going to be each different.
Like chapter
segment.
1, chapter 2, chapter 3.
Yes,
kind of thing.
I'm gonna have book 1's childhood, book 2 is like the Bible itself. 3 is like schisms that happened in the early church. 4 is like culture, how it affects our politics. It's going to have like 12 chapters in it, and it's going to be a massive video, and I hope that people are like willing to take the time, and I'm going to make it very interesting at the beginning. So
well, you definitely have to give me a link. Like, is it just going to be called Gray Oyami, or is it going to be that the
no,
channel
it's just
name,
actually funny. Yeah, it's going to be Gray Oyami is the channel name. The video is going to be called just Apostasy. That's it.
Okay.
So I guess that's my story until now. I'm going to church every Sunday, and I study religion. So
What is that? Is that cake?
Better. Oh shit! Oh,
So you mean
Is
it's
that
ice
ribs?
cream cake? What'd you do?
no, the lid was coming off.
Oh,
Don't want to dump my
It's ribs.
my slab of ribs.
I'll take a drink to that. I hope you enjoyed my story. I know it's not as like magical.
Oh no! It was good. It was good. It's interesting. Madam Who wanted to know what type of church it was that you were going to.
The first one was an apostolic church, but it was a cult-like church. They called themselves apostolic, but the second church was evangelical.
All right.
For
What
the
about
ones that I fitted in.
your mom's in now, is it the same sort of thing, like an evangelical type?
For sure, the current one's non-denominational. Something
Okay.
that it's like there's more non-denominational churches popping up now because of just how culture's changing everything.
Right.
Evangelicals had their foothold for early in Christianity's United States period. It wasn't until like social media, TikTok, and all that stuff started popping up. You get people that are going to more fringe stuff now. There are radicalizations that are happening through TikTok and other social media, but as the masses kind of develop and change, I think more like non-denominational churches are popping up.
There's a lot of Unitarian ones around here.
Yeah. And I don't think people want to be offended anymore. They want to have their own little box of how they view religion. So
yeah, and they still get offended.
Oh, for sure, man. I can't talk about biblical history with people because they're not gonna understand or know what I'm talking about, or I'm not going to address their version of it. So
yeah, there's a lot of it going around now with the whole Islamophobia thing, where people think that if you criticize the religion itself, that's Islamophobia, which is like stupid.
They call it an Abrahamic faith for a reason. Yeah, like they believe in Jesus. They believe in Moses, although a different version of Moses.
Yeah, he's pretty similar to the Old Testament Moses. It's pretty similar.
Yeah.
They of course, I like the original explanation of the three. The first one was A New Hope, the Judaism.
Yeah.
The
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, and then the Return of the Jedi or Return of the Super Jew with Islam, which is kind of funny the way they equate it. Well, great.
I've seen that somewhere.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. The three different books there. Another one I kind of like too is if you think all the stuff in this book, which says the Holy Bible, is true, then that means all the stuff in this book is true, and it's a Spider-Man comic book sitting there too.
Hey, the Book of Mormon's got some funny stuff in it, man.
Stag's got some Reese's Pieces. Kind of jelly. I was eating all of these. I was eating these earlier, the toffees, because I got a bunch of them for Christmas. So
toffee.
Oh, they're good. This is the double chocolate one.
Too much
candy
for Christmas.
Double chocolatey.
I don't like candy.
What?
Yeah.
Who the hell let this guy in here?
No, it's bad because like I love sweets as a kid and I ate it to a point where I don't even like it as an adult. I can enjoy it in little bits, but I absolutely hate candy just because there's so much sugar in it.
I
know I'm a sociopath. I know.
I like potato chips and like sunflower seeds and like jerky, but I really never like cupcakes or like Twinkies. Like I never like that kind of stuff.
Hey,
you're weird like me.
You know what makes Twinkies better though is you take a can of whipped cream, you just plunge it in there and get it fat. And with more cream.
I'll go with that, Pipe Snake. I'll go with that.
I love cakes, but not processed candy.
I like cake. You need all food is processed. All food goes through a process. So don't give me that.
I mean, like more natural candies. I think you can get like you go to Britain and get some.
What are you gonna go run up to a carob tree and pick a fucking thing off of there and eat it? Or
make it off the line. I'm talking about like corporation candy.
Still a process. It has to grow. It has to be fruited. It has to be pollinated. It's still a process.
You know, actually, funny enough, like this actually made me remember a story when I was just like a budding spiritualist, like, or I was just like got out of military school. I went to an anime convention and they were actually protesting it, like religious people.
Yep. They've done that here at a Star Trek convention too.
I was like, God,
know.
I'm not. You know, like
Aliens or demons, they would say. So yeah,
I
no, they're
was like,
fucking nuts.
thank you,
Fuck off.
God. I'm not like this. Like,
Yeah, even when they had, because I used to do, I have another YouTube channel where I do Yu-Gi-Oh stuff on there because it's called Sarah 13 if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, and I do it kind of like a TV show where I have an intro, starring so and so and all his buddies, so and so and so and so, and then it gets into like ripping open packages, doing some duels, stuff like that. But we used to do the circuit. We used to go around to all the YCSs and locals and stuff like for regionals and locals tournaments. And every once in a while, you'd see them even protesting the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments.
oh, that's
I
fascinating.
think twice it happened, but yeah, they'd go out there and they'd go, monsters are demons and blah, blah. It's like, fuck off.
Like, I'm not making fun of Yugi here, but
Yugi!
how could you be like, how could the church feel threatened by a card game?
I
Like,
know.
enough
It's
to
ridiculous.
go out in probably like the rain or snow. It's always doing one of those by you. To just go, I'm going to go interrupt this by any means necessary. No way.
Staggerson's quoting a little presidents of the United States of America.
I'm actually, now that
Millions
I
of
drank,
peaches.
in the special, I'm going to have some gin next to me while I present this information. It's going to be a fancy setup, so I spared no expense. I got a really
Wait.
fancy chair.
Look at my shirt.
I'll be sipping gin.
Nice.
The movie, is that the movie shirt?
No, it's just Yu-Gi-Oh. My
Aw.
sister, she's like, my sister for my birthday, she calls me and goes, do you have any Yu-Gi-Oh shirts? I go, not anymore. I had one, but before it was when I have one of my own channel that one of my fans made me with a little thing that has me on there and the Judgment Dragon, which is the deck. I still play that deck, by the way. I still play Lightsworn. Mikey, what are you doing?
It's not meta.
Oh, I know it's totally not meta, not right now.
You know what's ironic is my Yu-Gi-Oh deck is actually the Agents deck. So I had the Master Hyperion and all the agents.
Jupiter, Venus,
Yeah, they didn't do like angels. They made them agents because like I think for a more European crowd.
Yeah, it's well, I could quite easily take down the agent decks with the Lightsworn. Just FYI.
It's of course it's not a meta deck. It's really weak.
Fight.
But Master Hyperion's effect was insane.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Probably the best card in that deck. Well, and the one that brings out the shine balls, right? Is it Venus that brings out the shine balls?
Yeah.
Shiny balls. Yay.
Her effect was OP in certain decks, but yeah, that's
well, use the shine balls for synchro summoning or whatever. You can use all the extra stuff if that's what you want to do, or exceed summon or whatever. Then they broke the game with pendulums, and then they had to fix it after that. They brought out the pendulum monsters, and then they said, fuck, now they can really easily spam the field with monsters. We got to do something. Hey, I know, let's make link monsters. Now everything's got to be linked.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Me and my buddies are old school players. We're still obsessed about it. And I think for more the older we get, the more like we're into card collecting rather than playing the game. Because like I'm gonna get an anxiety attack from somebody summoning like 30 monsters on the field. I'll be like, what the fuck?
You know what? That's why they made a couple of traps. Was it Floodgate Trap Hole was one of them? So if they spam the field, they all go at the same time, right? So,
and I still remember that meme. I think it was like in one of the shows, like Kaiba sacrifices one of the Egyptian gods. He's like, "That's right, I sacrificed God."
yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
I still think about that.
Oh, phew, that's not what I thought you were going to say, Mark. Speaking of,
it's been an hour. Yay! Is it the party now?
Yeah. Now we do the after party. Which reminds me. Well, first and foremost, Gray, thank you for being a guest on the show, man. It was a lot of fun chatting with you. I'm so pleased as punch that we got to chat a little Yu-Gi-Oh at the end too.
Yeah.
I'll pull out my deck. I got what? Neil's going to pull out. Pardon me, deck people. I said deck.
If you're gonna pull out your deck, then I'm gonna pull out my deck.
Oh, look, it's got it right there too. That's fucking amazing.
It's time to.
These are all collectibles. They're not like.
Is that Deco Talker?
Which one is this? Is my favorite card. I have it at the top there, but it's the weather painter.
Oh, weather painters. Yeah,
it's just because they look beautiful. I mean, they're like rares, and they're like absolutely gorgeous cards, and a lot of waifu bait, like a lot of waifu cards in here.
Why? Oh, do you have all the like the ghost cards or whatever? Winter cherries,
ghost tricks.
Not ghost tricks.
Card.
I wanted to play that deck so bad, but it sucks. It sucks. The synergy of it is terrible.
Well, I don't get those cards because they're actually a bit more out of my price range. I don't spend that much on. I actually have a ghost fairy. Funny, like I do have a ghost fairy.
No, that's not. That's not what I'm referring to.
I'm trying to avoid expensive cards now. Like I haven't collected for like years, so like these are like a bit older. But this is, of course, this is my favorite card, Master Hyperion. And it's actually.
I had my playmat made for my channel.
Oh, that's neat.
So yeah, I had that one made, and somebody made me when I was playing Fable. I was playing the Fabled guys there. Oh, Madam Hood, #coins is the drinking game because my phone, when I get notifications, makes the Mario coin noise from the game. So you drink when you see that. And somebody made me a hand-drawn one of the Fabled monsters, which I thought was pretty cool. Let me see.
Just grabbing another drink.
I mean,
get wiped up again.
You guys are comparing all of your like cool cards and all the nice stuff you guys got. Some of my barbecue sauce spilled into my fries, and that is a fucking delight for me right now. I am in heaven. That was a good thing for me.
See, I buck up for the cards. As you can see, this is like if you look at the solar recharge, it's ultimate rare, right? So, and I have the Ghost Honest.
I have an honest card, not the Ghost Rare though. I think those go for like $30 now, right?
I didn't get the Ulti Judgment Dragons or JDs or whatever. I went with the Secrets because I like them better. So, let me see if I can find one of them. And these are the Champion Pack Luminous. Fucking expensive.
Wait, that's a champion card?
Yeah, Champion Pack.
Oh man.
I'm talking about these ones, the hand traps, Ash Blossom,
Oh, yeah, those are meta, but they're expensive. I was just like,
it's a $50 card right there.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start. They got
Potted
bootlegs.
Desires also expensive as fuck too.
Do people make fake cards?
Still meta. You best believe they make fake cards. They actually make custom cards on Etsy and stuff.
There's the other one, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit.
Oh, I don't have either of those. I know that they had a special box for them. They had like a $60 box at Walmart or something.
Yeah.
Buddy of mine collects cards, so he has a few of that just for the value of it. He likes the Dark Lords, or I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
Dark Lord archetypes, yeah. For me, I like the angel cards. I don't know, I'm kind of weird like that, but yeah, I like the little light fairy monsters.
You see this, Neil?
Yeah. The dual terminals that they used to have when they put them out at like some of the shows, and you could get cards. And one of the hardest ones to get, I actually had to buy this one. I never got a dual terminal, but it was the Foolish Burial. Terminal.
That's a good rarity. Why don't you keep them in like a? Don't you have like a special place you keep them safe? Oh, the sleeves.
Yep. Well, I've still played the deck, right? So, yeah, it's a great fun deck, and it sometimes it can take out some of today's meta decks because you pull it out as a surprise, and they're like, you're fucking playing Light Swords? What? And then all of a sudden you get Judgment Dragon out, and they don't have an out, and they're like, fuck me. They don't like have a something like a Ghost Ogre in their hand or whatever. They can't negate your effect, and that clears the field. And next thing you know, that's it. They're done.
Coming out.
Because they don't expect you to play this deck right now because it's not meta, right? So,
well,
anyway.
I mean, I know what you guys are talking about, but maybe someone in the audience doesn't. What's meta?
Meta right now is, I mean, funnily enough,
top tier stuff.
The Blue Eyes deck is still in like top 3 or something. Isn't that crazy?
I have the Chaos Max one is the one I run. Right. Yeah. And I got some link cards too, some of the better ones, like the Nightmares. You can run these things in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. The Nightmare cards, they do a lot of cool shit.
Oh, those have absolutely broken link. Like they have absolutely broken effects on it. And it's why I think those and another set of cards is why I just stopped playing. I just can't play anymore.
Is there a way for you guys to duel online?
We could duel. Yeah.
You guys should. Can we all, Neil, show us how to do it, and then we'll all duel you in the after show.
What?
We're taking you down, man.
You sure? I did design my extra deck or my side deck to counter today's meta. So,
hey,
see, I got some Gamma Seals in there, DD Crows.
I'm gonna steal an Exodia deck off of the internet and just win in one turn.
No, you won't. Droll and Lockbird, which can lock people up.
Okay, you're gonna pull those out. All right. Get the the limited cards to 1, or was it semi forbidden?
I like the sleeves for my extra deck. I double sleeve my extra decks, but they're all Bruce Lee.
Mine are weebish. I mean, I went with the Vocaloids.
Oh yeah.
I was a really bad weeb. I was into everything, but luckily enough, I'm not the biggest weeb anymore. I enjoy anime, like romantic comedies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Very much like anime.
What's anime?
The fuck off, Naruto guy with the fucking background right there.
No, that's my hometown right there. That's all that is.
The
Leaf Village. Hey, Sasuke, we left the perks back in the village.
Pervy Sensei.
Yo, dude, don't bring up Pervy Sensei right now. You make me sad.
Bro, somebody spoiled it because I never finished Naruto.
Oh no.
Someone spoiled it for me, dude.
These are ultimate rare Necrogardnus as well. Yeah. Oh, I have a dimension shifter? Why is that not in my side deck? Son of a.
What else have you been obsessed with lately?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm binge watching Naruto.
Yeah.
As well right now.
For the first time?
Well, I'd seen episodes here and there, but I'd never seen all of them all the way through, so I decided fuck it. And I get on there and I'm like, holy shit, there's 9 seasons. And every season has 26 episodes. And then I go, oh, and then there's Shippuden, which is 10 seasons. I got a long way to go.
I think it breaks down to I used to know this shit. Let me look it up. But it's it's a very round number. I think it's 500 episodes altogether. I just can't remember how it splits.
Okay.
And yeah, I stopped watching Naruto after there's this one scene that just did it for me. They were like, remember back 10 seconds ago, and they had a flashback to 10 seconds earlier. And I was like, I can't watch it. I have to watch a Kai version of it. You know how Dragon Ball Z had a Kai version, and I've watched all the orange boxes of Dragon Ball Z, so I'm very patient because like at least Dragon Ball Z kept me entertained. For Naruto, it was like, well, before I throw this ninja star, let's talk about your past. Like,
Remember when you stubbed your toe when you were 5? Serious music comes across there.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, I do remember.
I don't have the time anymore.
All right, guys, let's pick this up at an after party.
Oh,
this
this
is the
is
sort
the
of
after
stuff we.
party?
No. See,
Oh
there's a
no, I'm sorry.
I'll give you another link. And we're going to take a bit of a break so we can go get some refreshments, bio breaks if you need
Some
a
wet
cigarette
naps.
or puff off of a doobie like I'm going to do. So and
Oh,
go
I'm
outside.
so sorry for keeping
admire
everyone.
the pretty smoke. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. But if you guys would like to join us for the after party, please let me know. Or Mikey, you can send either one of us a message, and we'll get you a link, and you can jump in with us. Yeah, and thanks for hanging out, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. All the folks who are over on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube, even though there really isn't a chat thing on Twitter, you just kind of watch it there. But yeah,
Those are the best viewers.
Yeah. My patrons, you guys are awesome. Thank you all for what you do for the show. This, I believe, is the last one of 2021.
Oh, I feel special. Thank you.
So, Gray, you were the final show for 2021. I'll be back in 2022 on Saturday, January 1st, with Gutsick Gibbon. Hopefully. As we all know, sometimes people go overboard on New Year's Eve, and it may get rescheduled. So you just don't know. And a little bit of a heads up, guys. I am taking a couple weeks off at the end of January. The first couple of weeks of February, I'll be away. So you guys will have to, cry. What can I tell you?
I mean, there's a link to another great channel that'll be streaming the whole time Neil's gone to take some of that views.
There is, yes. Mikey's a great show that he does with Mr. Waymaker, who was in the chat a little bit earlier, may still be there as well, called the Bin Podcast, which is a lot of fun too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So quick reminders. Randolph and I are very soon now starting up True North Talk, which is I think it's going to be one of the first Canadian call-in shows, very much like the ones you're familiar with, where tell us what you believe and why. And it's going to be myself and my very good friend Randolf Richardson, and it'll be you can learn more about it at www.truenorthtalk.ca, and it'll give you a link to the channel too, so you don't miss our launch date. And myself and Mikey and many other great folks have been the new hosts of the revamped and relaunched Nonprofits, which is an ACA product that runs 3 p.m. Sundays. 3 p.m. Central on Sundays between Talk Heathen and the Atheist Experience. A lot of fun. I'm back on the show, I think, coming up in January. I got a date set to record one in January, so you'll be able to see my ugly mug over there again. And yeah, and usually the last Saturday of every month, myself and Andy and Seamus do a little show called Atheist Drinking Out Loud, where we get together with a guest and we poke fun at shit, or more than one guest. I'm not sure if we're going to do it in lieu of last week, this coming Saturday. I'm not sure, but being that it's New Year's Day, more than likely not. So I'm not even jamming on Saturday this Saturday. I didn't jam last Saturday, didn't jam this coming Saturday because of the holidays. So yeah, which sucks. I like singing. Anyway, that's about it, guys. Thanks again, Gray, for hanging out. We will see you guys in the after party. Once again, if you're interested, you can get a message to myself or Mikey one way or another, and we'll send you a link so you can jump in with us. Until then, guys, like I always say, oh, yes, Gray.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome, sir. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Pleasure having you on.
Appreciate you.
And like I always say at the end of the interviews, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.